Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, Magician Master is gonna bring you the best Harry deck profile ever. So I've learned the secret list from the ancient group of the Association of Secret Scrolls, and after you learn this, right, I'll probably get banned from the group. So let's get started. First off, yeah boy, 4 copies of Masked Magician Harry. Real simple skill. On Vanguard Circle, once per turn, discard 1 card, and from your soul, call up to 2 Magyadals with different card names from your soul onto your Vanguard Circles, and call up to 4 if your opponent is of grade 3 or greater Vanguard. And then all the court units get plus 5000 power until the end of the turn. So you essentially go plus 2 or plus 4. Very powerful. Next up, 1 copy of Dorian, because we can, and it really synergizes really well with the deck, sending all our Magyadals on our Rearguard Circle back into the soul, which we can then use for future turns, and also getting the plus 2 card draw. So good. Okay, the star of the show, which the star of the stage, Starry Pop Dragon. So Starry Pop Dragon gains plus 5000 power for each different Magyadal on your Rearguard Circles. So if you have 4 Magyadals with different card names, 20k base, and when attacking, if this card has 40,000 power, it gains plus 1 crit and gains a crit, and your opponent cannot guard this with Sentinels. So none of the 30k Sentinels and none of that perfect guard Sentinels, no protect marker as well. This card comes live on turn 3 as well, so very powerful. Okay, moving on to the grade 2s of the deck. Introducing the Magyadals. So first up, we've got 3 copies of Magyadal Lunatic Dragon. So all the Magyadals have the first passive ability of where after being retired from the Guardian Circle, you move them into the soul. So you're like prepping the soul for when Harry appears. Okay, and his skill. So all of them have their own unique individual skills. So for Lunatic Dragon, his one is when placed on board by Harry, you choose one of your opponent's rear guards and move into soul. It's like kind of like a pseudo retiring, but you give them soul. So it is what it is. Some clans, when you move it to soul, it's harder for them to get it out. So 3 copies of Magyadal Prana. So Prana skill is when called out by Harry, she gets plus 10,000 power until the end of the turn, and she gives your Vanguard plus 10,000 power. So Harry and Prana both get plus 10,000 power, and when caught up by Harry, so she gets 5 as well. So essentially she becomes a 24k beater on her own, making Harry 22k. So really nice. So one of the most important cards, we play 4 copies of Card Dealer Jacqueline. So Card Dealer Jacqueline is actually so good. Vienna on place, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, and you reveal up to 2 cards. 2 Magyadals or Law Pigeon pop and add it to your hand. And if you revealed and added 2 cards into your hand, you must place a card from your hand into your soul, which is awesome as well because, well, we can place Magyadals into our soul. And also, if your hand has cards that are unwanted, such as, well, this guy who does nothing in your hand, you can just send him in as well. So for our final grade 2, we are playing 3 copies of Law Pigeon Pop. So Law Pigeon Pop is like, well, his skill is on place, Rearguard Circle, you move one of your Magyadals from your drop zone into your soul, and so yeah, and his second ability is on stage only. After attacking, if he's on a stage, you counterblast 1, you return this card to your hand, and from your soul, drop or deck, you call Starry Pop Dragon onto the stage. And then when he's placed on the stage, he gets the ability of gaining an extra Excel marker, which is real cool. So why only 3 copies? Because, well, you can be searched out with Jacqueline. And you only ever need 1 pigeon in your hand because it bounces back to your hand after using his skill. So there's no real reason of why you should need that many, but yeah, 3 is the minimum, I guess. I know some people do run 4 because if you don't ever see him, right, then you actually can't call out the dragon, which is kind of the main style of the deck. So yeah, 3 is pretty good. Next up, to the Great Ones. We actually run 4 copies of the Great Tree Searcher, 4 Masquerade Bunnies, because the thing is we only play 4 Great Trees, excluding Dorian, because we won't ever want to ride Dorian. So it is really important to find Harry, and hence we run 4 Masquerade Bunnies. So her secondary skill is actually pretty easy to proc. She gets plus 5,000 power if a rear guard was called from the soul this turn. So yup, I don't really recommend riding her, because if anything, right, the Great One ride should be a Magedor instead, so she can be on the rear guard circle. So next up, 3 copies of Magedor Flying Periton. Periton skill real simple. When called out by Harry, draw a card. That's all. 3 copies of Magedor Darkside Mirror Master. Her skill, when on place, called out by Harry, counter charge 1. Very good. And finally, we play 3 copies of the Moonlight Melody Tamer Betty. So, okay, I love and hate this card at the same time. So, I like her V skill more. So her V skill is when unplaced, you draw a card and you place a card in your soul. So it's really good, right? You like go through your deck, cycle through 1 card, and you can place the Magedors in your soul. And also you can place this guy. So like we don't want this guy in our hand. Like, sorry, Starry Pop Dragon. And her second ability is once per turn. On rear guard circle, you just rest her. You look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and you put up to 1 Magedor from the top 3, and you place it in your soul. And then you put the rest of the cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. So it's really RNG, because it's the top 3, you never know, like, hey, maybe it's like 3 triggers or Harry if you don't have him. Yeah, it's kind of RNG, but hey, it is what it is. It's better than running 4 copies of the Magedors. So now, triggers. For heals, because as usual, heals are pretty OP this patch. And Sentinel crit, more crit, and more crit. So we're actually running 12 crits. And the reason for why we run 12 crits in this deck is because this deck is real dangerous. So on turn 3 you pop off and you can just kill your opponent right there and then. Critical triggers are ever more important in this deck, because we have a turn 3 danger lunge. That is Starry Pop Dragon. Basically on XL1, he's actually 2 crit 40k if you have 2 XL1, and then the crit put on him 50k 3 crits. That's actually lethal already. And that's the reason why this deck is very balanced. Okay, if you see the Grade 1 and Grade 2 cards, right, they are actually very vanilla. They actually have no other secondary abilities. They don't have the on hits, they don't have any plus 10s, etc, etc. Because it's balanced. Because outright on turn 3 you can just one hit your opponent. And hence the reason why they don't have that much power, and playing critical triggers is going to help you push in that early damage, because come turn 3 you're going to explode and do massive damage. So it's just, okay, we're going to look at how we play this deck. Okay, so let's see how this deck does in action. So right off the bat, our hand's actually really okay, I guess. So we'll keep this too. Oh, that's okay. Quick shuffle. Cut deck. Stand and draw. Oh, okay. So always ride the Magedor if you have a bunny and a Great One in hand. So ride Magedor, draw 1, place bunny, bunny skill, top 5. Hey, what do you know, Harry? From our hand, what do we have? We have 3 pigeons. Hey, let's throw that away, man. So let's move it back, assuming we go first and our turn. Take damage. Stand and draw. Right. And yeah, I think we're good to go. So, attack, check, flying Periton, deal 1 damage, end turn, their turn, they hit us, take damage, heal trigger. Let's say we got stand and draw. Wow, okay. Right into Harry. We'll open XL1. So this turn, assuming we go first, we only can call 2. And these are the best 2 calls. So Counterblast 1, discard Starry Pop Dragon because it's useless, and call these 2 cards. So if you call it like that, and right off the bat, if you call it like that, 5 to these 2 units, 5 because the card was called, and 10k here, and 10k from her ability. Skill, draw 1. Ooh, what do we have? Starry Pop Dragon. Law Pigeon Pop. Unfortunately, we don't have any Margadors in our drop zone. Hey, we can call this. And since Harry's already real big against maybe 9 or 10k, we can use her ability this turn to prep for our future turns, where we find the other missing cards. So, really nice, we found Mirror Master. Mirror Master to Soul. So, 2 cards in hand. So how this goes is basically you just attack with the smallest columns first, leading to the final attack, which is Harry, and then putting all trigger effects to when you call Starry Pop Dragon. So in this case, this is a 26k column. So we attack with 19k first after attacking, skill on the stage. Counterblast 1, return it to your hand. From your deck, soul or drop. Call... Starry Pop Dragon. Starry Pop Dragon on skill. When placed on stage, get additional marker. So this turn, since we have 2 different Margadors, he gains plus 10. So he's currently 30k. So any one trigger will trigger his, he will get his full ability of where he get a crit and a Sentinel Restrict. So what do we do next? Well, we can attack with this first and threaten a crit. Then we can put a crit here and power here if your opponent's no guards you. So, attack, check, critical. So, crit power. Or if they got this, all effects there. Second check, crit. All effects here. See why we run 12 crits? So, basically, right, at this point, opening double crit, my opponent, my dragon here is at 50k power with only 2 Margadors. 50k, 4 damage. So it's a 1-hit KO, and also, yeah, that's really amazing. So on the future turns, right, during my opponent's turn, and this guy retires himself after battle, so there's no way your opponent can bind, unless he can bind from your drop zone. So amazing, there's no way they can stop this guy. So the best, let's see, grade 2s. Okay, so this is your best, like, ideal lineup, I guess, to have this here, and where's that? Here. You kind of want to have this every turn, so it's, you call 4, and you can do their full effect, draw 1, counter charge everything, and yeah, so during your opponent's turn, you want to intercept with these 2 cards. Free 10k shield every turn after intercept, go into your soul. So if your opponent is smart, for a 5k guard against your Vanguard, instead of attacking the Vanguard for 5k guard, they will attack your rear guards. So if they attack rear guards, right, you try to intercept with the other one. So they swing this one, you intercept this one. But if it costs a 10k guard to guard for rear guard, right, sometimes it's better just let it go. Unless you really don't have another one in a drop zone. Because Pigeon will send it into soul. So usually the grade 2s are not the ones I worry about not being able to call them. It's more or less the grade 1s, because the grade 1s, right, they only go into your soul after you guard from hand. So most of the time, right, you will call over the grade 1s with existing ones from your soul. Let's say you have a Flying Periton, right, then you will call over, so the Flying Periton goes to drop, then you will call, and then you place it to prep for next turn. So that's just kind of how it goes. And yeah, and also the other reason why I run this crit, as in the Sentinel crit, is because let's say you really have a real shitty hand, no way of playing the game, and then you choose to go for the XL2 marker, which draws you a card, right? But there's only 5k. So let's say you draw a card. So what card is better to draw? A Sentinel Crit, right? You draw a card, hey, it's 30k shield. Instead of drawing a draw trigger, which is, you know, 0 shield, and then using that draw trigger PG will actually force you to drop another card from your hand. So Foily Crit is the best way to play this deck. 12 crit, no bullshit. And yep, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Bye bye.